Rob Walters, your Oxford guide, took me to the cocktail bar perched on top of the new hotel in Oxford's Broad Street. There we both marvelled at the view, and Rob, ever the guide, resolved to make a video pointing out the many points of interest visible from this lofty viewpoint. That was the beginning.
That new hotel is located on Broad Street and is in the city centre, looking towards the north. The building itself has been there for many years and has had many uses. The major one was as Boswell's, the department store, which sold a vast range of goods. Sadly, it closed, presumably because we weren't using it enough. It has now been transformed into a luxury hotel in the very heart of the city, and they call it the Store. Here is a very brief glimpse of the newly created interior. That's the entrance and the ground floor bar. Look at this luxury room with a view, and here is that lofty cocktail bar with its balcony. And here's the panorama again, this time from north to south. Hang on, I thought to myself as I watched my recording, I've seen something like this before, and better. So, a few days later I ascended the many stairs to the top of the tower of St. Michael at the North Gate, and from there I could scan through a full 360 degrees. This is what I've used for my whistle-stop rooftop panoramic view of my favourite city, and this map shows the major viewing points on our journey. I start by looking north. Here we get a glimpse of Magdalen Street East and peer into the gardens of Balliol College. Gosh, look at that wonderful copper beech tree. The building at the end is the famous 19th century dining hall. Here's a close-up and then an inside view. To the right you can see a very special rooftop. It's the tower of the splendid Natural History Museum, and swifts breed here. About 70 of them come all the way from Africa, and the chicks fly back again. Below that tower is the wonderfully interesting museum itself, famous for dinosaurs, dodos, Darwin, and so much more. The dark grey modern building in front of you is the new story of the Store Hotel, and you can see the balcony of the cocktail bar at the end there. Beyond that, we can see the upper reaches of Balliol College above its grand frontage on Broad Street. Right at the end of the same side of Broad Street lies the bulky Weston Library, a late comer to the Oxford scene, built in 1947 as the new Bodleian. Not perhaps the prettiest of buildings, but it is accessible. It has exhibitions, a cafe and a toilet. Many of my tours start from there. Broad Street is terminated by the Indian Institute, with its delightful Indian elephant on the wind vane. The building is now the base of the Martin Institute, and I am a regular at the many interesting talks held there. If you look behind it and beyond the trees, you can see the modern John Radcliffe Hospital on the horizon. Moving on, we can see the cupola of the university's most important building. This 17th century Christopher Wren creation is where students begin and end their stay at Oxford, matriculation and graduation. This is the Sheldonian Theatre. Next, as we swing across the eastern section of the city, there's the Tower of New College. This 14th century college set the pattern for those that followed, and the tower itself glowers down on one of the most visited of Oxford pubs, the Turf Tavern. Right alongside, but actually much nearer to us, is the Chapel of Exeter, the fourth oldest college of the 39. Its admirable spire is so slim that it is properly called a flesh, as in arrow. Tolkien graduated from this college in 1915. Directly behind Exeter from this vantage point is the historical centre of the university from the 15th century on. We can just see the Tower of Orders, which overlooks Old School's Quad, and the old Bodleian Library, You can also see the forested pinnacles on the buildings that surround the quad. Next, we have the most impressive of university buildings, the neoclassical grandeur of the Radcliffe camera, with its wonderful 18th century dome. And just between the chimney stacks, you can glimpse part of All Souls College, that institution that almost defies description. Next, we have the original home of the University of Oxford, St. Mary's Church. Why is it hiding its beauty behind that tree? Simple, because it believes the best view of Oxford are from its tower. It's probable that the same tree is obscuring Merton College, for a little further to the west we can see the entrance tower of Oriel College, its near neighbour. Scanning on, we come to a church, which is not a church. All Saints is now the library of Lincoln College, to which it is attached. It's a good use for it. The bell ringers can still do their stuff there. We're looking south now, and the next standout building is the very recent Jesus College incursion into Cornmarket Street, which contains, amongst other things, the extremely spacious Cosy Club. Between it and the white plastic sheeting, you can see a tower. That tower belongs to Oxford's Cathedral, which sits gracefully in the grounds of the College of Christ Church and is also its chapel. From up there, you would have a fine view of Christchurch Meadow and the nearby River Thames. The small vented spire that we see next belongs to the town hall, but the larger tower, Tom Tower, also lies within Christchurch, guarding its main entrance and housing that famous bell, Old Tom. Now my panorama reaches Oxford Centre, Carfax, and there you can see a somewhat strange image of Carfax Tower, where St Aldate's church spire has entered the fray. The tower offers another great viewpoint. Moving on, we spy the tower of St Peter's College Chapel, a somewhat unusual building in that it is older than the college itself. Next, we see two towers that seem very close to each other, but they are not. First is Nuffield College's tower, which is also its library. This is the only postgraduate college in our panorama. Its very slim companion is the Wesley Memorial Church, and that's right next to St Peter's in New Inn Hall Street. These two domes mark buildings at the entrance to George Street, sometimes known as Vomit Alley, and the street to the north is Magdalen Street West, and hence we have encircled the city of Oxford.